Let me make
Good.
it recording too. Okay, here we go. Recording. We're live. Jordan, you had a question. I think you're unmuted.
Okay. Am I muted?
You're good. I can hear you.
Okay. How do we see like the DO schools like average GPAs, and where is that? I couldn't find it. I could just find like the race and demographic stuff.
But you couldn't find the average GPA and MCAT scores for each DO school?
Mm-mm.
It's not in the MSAR?
No. Those
Oh.
are just D schools.
There are a couple of blog websites that I think I have links to, so I can send you that. Because you guys are right. I think the DO application, like the 2017 data, the matriculant data, I think it's just in general. I think you're right. It doesn't break it down by school.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple of blogs that I'm pretty sure has a DO information listed. So I will dig that up and I'll post that on the Facebook group.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, still looking here.
Question?
Yes.
It's been about like a good 10 years since my undergrad, and I did all of my transcripts and cumulative GPA yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering, should I make sure to focus on applying to schools with my total GPA or my more recent post-bac GPA? Because when I first started this whole process, they said, oh, all your stuff is really old and blah, blah, blah. And so you need to retake courses. And so now I'm confused or unsure as to which GPA to use.
Yeah. So what they're going to look at is they're going to look at everything.
Okay.
And remember that they calculate their own GPAs.
Okay.
And then do you guys remember this screen? Let me share this picture. Okay, this picture. Do you guys see it? Can you see this picture? Yes, no? Yeah, okay. How come I can't make it bigger? Here we go. So what they're going to do in this bottom left-hand corner, you see where it says GPA. So high school, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and then PB is post-bac. So everything will be listed separately. There is some data where they'll put out separately like post-bac GPA, but either way, because your GPA is so old, I would focus in on highlighting and applying with your most current post-bac GPA, because obviously it's better too. So yeah, does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
Okay, great. So I have Sarah's personal statement and EC's right here. Does anyone have to go early? Jordan, I think you mentioned, yeah. Okay, never. Jordan, we're going through your ECs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll go through that first then. Jordan, where is this? Shared with me. Jerlyn, sent me stuff. EC's Jordan. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to share the screen and then just let me know. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it big enough? Okay, good. So California Hospital. I started volunteering my sophomore year of college. After 3 years, I was given the opportunities. I could not contain that's cute. In a couple of weeks, then I found I'd become a cuddler. I volunteered in the NICU for 4 hours per week as a NICU cuddler. We'll tell comfort the babies. Is there a different title than NICU cuddler that sounds like more sophisticated?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think
Comfort the
that's what
babies.
they're called in every program. I'm not sure.
Okay. The first baby I got told. Sunny was a piece. Is this seems is this 1,300 characters?
Yeah, I think it's too long.
Okay. Yeah, because there's some stuff in here we can start to eliminate. So, after 3 years of volunteering, what else did you do at the California hospital?
I did meal mates and I was in the emergency department. And then I did a physician mentorship program. That was kind of like the 3 steps.
Yeah. Can we come up with a different title than cuddler? Anyone have any suggestions? Like maybe we should just say NICU volunteer. Right, because you're volunteering, but cuddler just sounds, I don't know, seems a little silly. Let's just say volunteer in the meantime. The chat box, let's see, someone said, oh yeah, character count also includes the spaces. That's what Jerlyn is saying. Okay, I could not contain my excitement a couple weeks into my internship when I found out. Okay. If you want, this is actually redundant. We don't need to put in all this. So that'll save you on a couple words. You could just say I could not contain my excitement. And then you can just say something to comfort premature babies, right? In the NICU 4 hours per week. And then you don't have to say that. Then you can just say, get straight to it. I was able to help comfort the babies as well as feed them and change their diapers. This really helped alleviate some of the nurses' duties. My first day I was a little nervous since babies are so tiny, but I knew I could do what was asked of me. I don't know if we need to mention the babysitting because taking care of premature NICU babies is much more sophisticated than babysitting. So even someone who hasn't done babysitting, they would hopefully jump in if they're, on their way to medical school. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't think we need to mention this. Yeah. So, but I knew I could do what was asked of me shows a lot of, strength. So that's good. He was put in my arms, was so little. Do you know how many pounds he was or ounces?
He was probably like, I want to say like 4 pounds.
He was, yeah. It just makes more of a description of how, so that they can visualize how small the baby actually was instead of saying so little. So little makes it sound, too cutesy.
Yeah.
So it was only 4 pounds. He was put into my arms a little grumpy, and then all of a sudden he was at peace as he felt my warmth. It was the best feeling. Where underserved families are located, thus many of the parents with babies in the NICU are not able to come see their baby as much as they would like due to transportation. So I wonder if we should put this up earlier, because so far it kind of sounds like you're cuddling babies, but the real impact comes because these babies don't have someone, and so you're filling a great need. So let's put this description higher up, like earlier.
Okay.
So we'll copy that and move it up here. I could not contain my excitement to, yeah. And maybe something like, and help the families fulfill this need. Something like that. Sometimes on my shift, parents would come in as I was holding a visit. When they, that's nice. I like that. I noticed that teamwork is very important in the NICU. All the nurses have their own babies, but they also help each other whenever it is needed. They help each other without showing signs of negativity. Tell me more about this sentence. What do you mean by this? Without showing signs of negativity.
Because I noticed in other departments, a lot of nurses didn't really want to help out their fellow nurses, and like they'd get like annoyed if they had to do something else that wasn't their main task. But the NICU nurses are really, they just like want to help each other out with anything.
I don't think the sentence is needed.
Okay.
Yeah, that it reads fine without that sentence, and it's just kind of, it brings up more questions than answers or descriptions.
Okay.
Important for me to be a part of this teamwork. One time I started to feed this baby and she was doing really well, but then stopped after 2 minutes. Try feeding her, and of course I agreed. When she tried to feed her, she would not take it either, but then she did a different technique. She taught me the new technique when she did. So it was helpful to learn a new way and work together to get the baby to drink from her bottle. I'm not, this description, you learned a new technique, I got that, but I didn't get much else out of all of those sentences.
Okay.
So I'm not sure any of this is needed, especially if it's too long. Yeah, because it doesn't really, I mean, I think you're trying to give me an example of how you helped the team, but I don't know. I don't think it's that impactful. I'll just take it out. A chunky 12-pound baby in the NICU left a mark on me. Just ended drinking from a bottle. Or the bottle, so I took the challenge. But I could only get her to take about half. Notice she had a huge aversion to even seeing a bottle come to her face. It's heartbreaking to see. She needs to be doing as a 2-month-old. How come there was a 12-pound baby in the NICU? The nurse ended up using the feeding tube, but it really appreciated me trying to give her a bottle. I held her while the feeding tube was flowing through her nose. She was happy being held and felt right asleep. The next time I held her, she allowed me to leave the bottle in her mouth without trying to get rid of it. I was so happy that she was making progress. However, she still would not suck on the bottle. As I continued to spend time with her each shift, she became more smiley with me. It was truly a rewarding and relaxing experience from comfort to the babies and the I think this is cute. I like this. It's a good description. It is heartbreaking to see because that is one she's sweet too. And you can cut this part out, actually. It's the one thing she needs. If you don't really need that extra description. And then we can say the nurse used a feeding tube.
Okay.
Feeding tube, but really appreciated me trying to give her a bottle. I held, I want to put Julia back in here because after you talked about the nurse, it, that her makes it sound, grammatically, it makes it sound like you're holding the nurse. So Julia, while the feeding tube was flowing through her nose. The next time I held her, she allowed me to leave the bottle in her mouth without trying to get. I was so happy. She was making progress. So do we need these descriptions, these sentences? Do they add anything? However, she still would not suck on the bottle. I don't think we need this.
Okay.
So I was so happy she was making progress. And then you can say it was truly a rewarding and relaxing experience to bring comfort to the babies in the NICU and be a part of the team. Right, because you talked about teamwork as well.
Yeah.
Okay, good job. I like this because you talked about what you learned and you also talked about your impact that you had. So we know you had a great impact because of the underserved families who aren't able to help their premature babies.
Mm-hmm.
And then you talked about your teamwork and how you were able to help the nurses. And so you really emphasized that. And you emphasized it in stories too, which is really nice. So it keeps the reader, the admission committee member engaged.
Yeah.
Okay. California Hospital Emergency Department. I was able to start volunteering after a semester of doing meal mates. Volunteered 3 hours per week. I experienced a whole different dynamic. The ED was a lot faster pace, as well as more intimidating. I mostly helped the security guards check visitors, patients in as the ED. This is a secure unit due to the area it is located. Noting it for the nurses when I had to ask them if a visitor was allowed to come back and see their loved one. It was always hard to come back and tell us. However, should I go? I helped him get on his feet. Notice you. Oh, interesting. This is a good one. I actually, so let's go back here. So switching from, I experienced a whole different dynamic of the hospital. And then actually we can just say a faster pace. Comma, a faster pace. And if you want, you can say a faster and more intimidating pace. I mostly help. I think you did more than just like check visitors in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this description. You can say I helped did you learn about HIPAA?
No, I learned about HIPAA for my research stuff.
Okay. But
I mean, a little bit here, but I mean, just like the basic thing.
Well, what you were mostly doing was applying HIPAA, right? So maybe we can talk about that, because that's what the security guards are there for, is to make sure that there's no HIPAA violations and that there's a smooth flow of things. And then also, even depending on what order you put this in, you might need the description of, and it's a rough area, underserved area, or something like that. You might need to put in a little something in the beginning there. When I had asked some visitors. So what you tried to do is just say, I mostly helped the security guards utilize protection laws, HIPAA protection policies, something like that. And then you can say, this was, you can talk about this. This was challenging to do because visitors and then over here you can say, tell the visitor that they could not go back yet, because you can say people would get upset, right?
Mm-hmm.
People would get upset when I would tell them that they could not visit yet. And then here you can say, however, I try to comfort them and so pick one, just say 15 minutes to see if, just say the patient was ready. Patient was ready to more neutral when I told them this. And then maybe a sentence here on what is this? On what you learned from that, from the HIPAA thing, right? Because that was or you can say, I learned, you can, instead of tried, I learned how to comfort them and would from frustrated to how about more understanding? It's better than neutral. Mm-hmm. Shows that you did, because I know you made an impact. This is an important role. It's just a matter of describing it in a way that makes you sound cool.
Yeah. Okay.
And then this example, is this going to be one of your most meaningful?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one, you learned something else, right? You learned that people come to the emergency room for their primary care needs. Mm-hmm. So this this one, maybe I don't know how to start it. So like a sentence here, maybe saying, in this neighborhood, or because of lack of access to care or something like that, put that here. so that it transitions into this example. And then you can say that one week I was standing at the security post and noticed, yeah. You don't need this sentence if you need to save on words. So helped him get You also don't need this sentence. It doesn't add anything. A nurse came out to help me. Yeah, that was the day I realized. And then they do not. So then this would be a perfect spot to write in your impact and how you want to impact this particular area of primary care in the future or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How you want to be a doctor.
Okay.
Any other interesting ED stories? It sounds like you had a lot, but was this these were the most interesting ones, or?
Yeah, because I mean, my other big one is in my personal statement.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, these are good. Okay, Trojan Health Volunteers. USC's Health Volunteer Club. As a member of the club, I attended meetings where we discussed various health topics, including mental health, organ donation, homelessness in the community as part of the club's requirement. If you mention the requirement, it makes it sound like you didn't want to do it voluntarily.
Okay.
So just say, and I volunteered in the community. I realize that the downtown LA area has a prominent underserved. Yeah. The club allowed me to explore the different populations that comprise LA and serve. One event I'm assuming participated in was a spring wellness fair. I don't know if you need this sentence because, yeah. I volunteered at the fair to raise community awareness of local research activities and foods that could benefit their health. Even if it is just going for a walk, the community members were very responsive and I felt great pride knowing I helped increase their knowledge on healthy habits. Okay. So yeah, put the 5 hours per week somewhere up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's interesting is that some people would argue like homeless people have more to worry about than exercising for 20 to 30 minutes per day. Right? Did you get any pushback on that or challenges or?
Oh yeah, but this wasn't the homeless population. This was just one of the more underserved communities in LA.
Oh, okay. I guess I read this last and then I immediately jumped to thinking it was the homeless population.
Oh, okay.
So let's see. Organ donation and maybe just say the underserved population instead of homeless. Underserved downtown LA communities. And then you don't even need any of this, right? Because you said it in that spring wellness fair to raise community awareness, local resources for health and wellness. the activities and foods that could benefit their health. Yeah. Now tell me how the community members were responsive. Like that's a very generic response or description.
They just didn't like push back to what they were being told. Or they
Mm-hmm.
didn't question it, and they were just very open to learning about different ways they could help themselves.
So you might want to write here, I was surprised, right? Because that's surprising.
Yeah.
So I was surprised at, how open to learning about health everyone was, or, however you want to say it. And then, I was surprised. Yeah. And then I felt great pride knowing I helped increase the knowledge on their healthy habits. Do you know what impact that particular fair had on the community? Like how many people attended? Were there surveys afterwards? Did people come back and give testimonials saying like it was an awesome thing?
I'm not sure, but I could probably email somebody or look it up.
Yeah. Because I think that would create a better description of the impact that you helped make.
Okay.
Yeah. I felt great pride knowing I helped increase their knowledge on healthy habits, and then maybe give a sentence on how you're passionate about this and want to do this in the future kind of thing. Yeah. Good job. Are those your most meaningful?
No.
Oh, the highlighted ones in yellow are the most meaningful?
Yes.
Okay, let me jump to that then. Shadowing doctor. Shadowing will be kind. Checks the patient's obviously also lets me measure their fundal height if they're pregnant with hands-on experience. Okay. The way you're describing this, like he let you do this and he let you do that, almost puts a description on him rather than on what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
So just say, I checked vital signs and measured fundal heights.
And then I saw my first vaginal delivery with him, so I was gonna write about that because I thought it was really
Yes,
cool.
that is great. That's great experience. So I see, yeah.
I just wanted to ask, like when I talk about the delivery, since I'm just like standing there watching, is there a certain way I should?
No, that's what shadowing is. So we know
Okay.
what you're doing when you're shadowing. No one's confused about that. Yeah, so I wouldn't stress about that.
Okay.
I love the hands-on experience. That's it. Like you don't need to say that it's what he allowed you to do or whatever.
Okay.
Interact. Felt, but also just say and uplifting. his patients were very open to me learning. You learned from him, but you also learned from patients, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which enabled me for me minor. One morning, how about this? I was confused when I noticed a police officer in the hallway. Shortens, gets rid of that sentence.
Yeah.
Then Dr. Pierce and I went into the examination room and you can say I was shocked when I saw an inmate as a patient. Yeah. So inmates aren't less fortunate per se, but it is important to, I think the valuable lesson that you learned here is that as a physician, we treat all of our patients with kindness and respect
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that they always feel comfortable. So that is, maybe you can write about that like in your learning. So like I learned. And then the vaginal delivery, can you give me a description a little bit about that?
I like honestly got goosebumps watching it. It was just so amazing, like to see.
Say that. I got goosebumps when I saw my first vaginal delivery. Why did you get goosebumps?
Just like to see a baby come out of a woman and then just all of the emotion in the room
Mm-hmm.
was, I don't know, it was so crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah, I was a med student when I saw my first vaginal delivery. I was shocked at how bloody it was. They are really bloody.
Yeah.
What you want to avoid though is kind of how you're describing it, as it is very emotional, but you're almost describing it like a family member, and you don't want to do that. You want to come from a medical perspective.
Yeah.
So I got goosebumps when I saw my first vaginal delivery. Then say, witnessing, because it like aside from the emotion, I'm sure you witnessed all the teamwork and coordination of care, because there's a lot going on, right,
Yeah.
with delivery. There's someone monitoring the what's it called? The
Yeah. Yeah.
baby's heart, whatever, that heart rate thingy. I'm totally blanking. But there's someone monitoring that, like the nurses getting medication. They're monitoring how much blood is coming out. Then the doctor's also, coaching the woman, and then the family member. Everyone's managing family members. So on the medical side of things, it's a very well orchestrated show. So focus your description on that and what you learned from that, and how you hope to be able to integrate or be part of, a team like that or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't talk so much about the you can mention the emotional stuff and new life, but you could have been the patient's sister in the room too, and then
Yeah.
you're no longer that special pre-med student.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, those were the main ones. Anyone that you want to? Oh, do I put this in if it's in my? Yeah, I would put it in.
Okay. Just
But
like a shorter
yeah,
description of
just a
it.
little short thing, or if you have any other examples. Yes.
I think I wanted to ask you about the Core Power yoga studio.
Yeah.
Because I was just I didn't do, I worked there for
Okay.
like
Yeah,
a
so
year
it's
and a
kind
half.
of like a hobby / paid work.
Yeah. But I had a cool story from there, so I thought it was.
Okay. Um, What was that? A lot of work goes into keeping it running one day. Oh, here it is. One day I was working. A girl came out of one of the class unable to catch her breath. She was really scared. I told her to put her hands on her head. After sitting with her for about 15 minutes, she started feeling. I was extremely glad I was on shift. That's the experience you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, it happened one day and I thought it was cool. Because otherwise it's just like saying I cleaned the studio and
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, you can just say, you don't have to. I helped keep the studio tidy. You can just say, let's start with this first. I helped provide a great atmosphere for the studio and to keep it smoothly running. It's better than keeping it tidy. I worked at
yeah.
studio for 1.5 years and worked 1.5 hour a week. That gets rid of a lot of characters. See how I did that?
Yeah.
It was easy, or you can say it was easy to fit into my schedule between classes, or you can say it was a good fit for me as a full-time student,
Okay.
something like that. And then you don't have to talk about cleaning the bathrooms and cleaning the mats because what you really want to emphasize is what you learned. So it was a great experience to learn about, just say, managing a yoga studio. What else did you learn? Did you learn about health and wellness? Or
I mean, not really.
okay. Did you take any of the yoga classes?
Yeah, I did. That's why I started doing it. It's because I have a discount for yoga. And I'm really into yoga. So I kind of already knew the health part.
Okay. No, so that's fine. So you're really into yoga.
Yeah.
Tell me more. So this is your hobby then. How many times a week do you go and do yoga? Or do you do it every day or every morning or what?
No, I do it once a week, but then like I'm just into fitness in general, so I work out like 5 times a week. Um, so yeah.
Okay. Um, I don't know. Well, you
So I
were
guess
drawn to it. I mean, you may not have learned that there, but you learned how it's really important to people's well-being, right?
yeah, and I feel like when I took time off from yoga, I wasn't as like
Yeah, and
relaxed, I guess, or
it's really
centered.
important to not become a burned out doctor.
Yeah.
So maybe you can tie it back around to that and how this hobby will hopefully help you in the future. Um, and this is good because, but then you, but then you ended it with, I was extremely glad that you were on your shift. You didn't really talk about your impact or what you learned or how you impacted her. So you need to just reword this a little bit
Okay.
so that it seems more impactful or ties back to what you learned. And maybe even a better story might be if you saw someone who used to be stressed out and then after coming regularly, you notice that they were functioning better or something. And then you can emphasize it and bring it back around to burnout and how you're excited to have these health and wellness skills to be able to combat such a common physician issue or something. I don't know. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Good job. Okay, next, shall I jump into, let's see, I have this. Sarah's, yeah? Is that cool?
Hello, can
Hi.
you guys hear me?
Yes. Okay. Oh boy, it's a lot to go through. That's all right. Let's go. Can you guys hear me okay? Because every now and then it says my internet connection is unstable.
Yep.
Okay. The heat in Haiti during the night was unbearable, as it was during the day. During the night was okay. Seemed to jump at you to say. Warmer was the smallest infant I had ever seen. My duties were simple. Oh, this is great. I love this. The only thing I would say is that you took too long to get to the point.
Okay.
So too many fancy sentences. I love it because it's very descriptive, but it just took too long. So as unbearable as it was during the day. When I walked to the patient's room, the intensity was greater than it was outside and seemed to just to the door. Actually, no. No, it's okay.
Are you sure? I think I can shorten it if I need
Yeah,
to.
if you can shorten it and get the little smallest infant under the warmer or something a little bit sooner.
Okay.
Oh, this is a great story. Okay, so that's your seed planting. That's great. Okay. Returning from Haiti, masters in public health and viewed health from a larger perspective. Natural disaster in a third world country later. Premature birth and the infant I watched over. Instead, he needed medical intervention to survive. Adults safe, productive, and industrious members of society. Immigrant family living in the poor state of poverty and limitless. You've been describing everything really well so far.
Okay.
Uncontrollable asthma resulted because you're talking a lot about your why and sort of your purpose that you found in medicine, which is excellent. My school frequencies, I was concerned that
The weight.
oh yeah, the weight of this disease was preventing him from You're switching tense a little bit here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You're providing or provided. Just go back and have someone reread it and make sure
Okay.
that your tenses stay the same. Because you were concerned the weight of his disease was preventing him from enjoying his childhood. Therefore, I helped. So this is past tense. Maria, get the medical attention I really need. No, yeah, you kept it in past tense. I don't know.
Sounds a little funny.
Yeah, it just sounds a little funny.
Mm.
Out of attention how you're needed. So maybe actually it might read better if you just made it another sentence. I provided her with asthma education and tips. So the weight of his burden lightened, and I enjoyed the way time Javier played soccer without the slightest wheeze. To this family for entrusting me with his health. Aw, this makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Yay.
Yay. This is really great, the way that you've written this. Maybe I'm going to keep reading, but maybe something should be added here on your why, like just one sentence. Training Health and I had limited engagement with doctors, working outside a clinic till my collaborative work at United Way. How community-oriented advocate contribute to the perspective. Year of creating healthy school environments. Our partnering schools run the schools in the country where showed me that my knowledge and experience of the population complements society. Okay, this paragraph almost reads like an extracurricular activity.
Okay.
You know, because you're talking more about what you learned instead of how it adds to your why of your drive to be a doctor.
Okay.
Does that make sense? This is a really common mistake because a lot of people tend to like basically make their personal statement like your resume almost. So I don't know.
If I took out some of the details about, let me pull it up. If I take out some of the details of like all this stuff and kind of talked about kind of like removing it and saying this experience is driving me towards becoming a physician because I saw that population health is complementary to scientific research.
Yeah.
Would that work?
Yeah, that could work.
Okay.
Why do you like doing this particular type of work?
The public health work?
Yeah.
I like doing it because the focus on prevention allows us to, in general, as a community, spend less money in the long-term run to treat. And so preventing, I think, if we can get away from getting the disease, then we can spend more time kind of like enjoying and living our life. And I think that's what we all ultimately want.
Okay.
Is to be less sick, more happy, enjoy the time that we have, or very short time we have on this earth. And so that's kind of like why I am a big proponent for preventative anything.
Yeah. And why do you want to be a doctor? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to do preventative medicine, like primary care type of stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, just a little bit more why and less
Okay.
resume like. Yeah. Strong academic experience have pushed me in the direction of medicine without leaving. I think he meant to say I strive to work. I like this. This is really nice.
Cool.
Yeah, this is good because it reflects a lot of your passion and your why, which is great. Yeah, and then just maybe add a sentence there or whatever it was. Although you're cutting it close on your personal statement. But yeah, if you get rid of the resume stuff,
Mm-hmm. I think
you
that
might be
opened up a
okay.
lot of space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, Sarah. It's
Thanks.
a huge difference from your first draft.
It was. It took me like 7 revisions on this thing. I'm so ready to be done.
Well, good job. You worked hard, and it shows. Shows it's much better. Okay, which ones are your most meaningful, or which ones do you want me to go
The
through?
the
Top three?
topics are the most meaningful,
Okay.
and there was one that I kind of wanted you to read, the clinical care extender, because I took out the whole thing about my grandma and added a different experience.
Okay.
That's the last one.
Okay.
Short, so.
The transfer. This is great because you talked about what you learned without needing to say the sentence I learned.
Okay.
Yeah. Because here you told us what you learned, which is really good. Often our easy access to healthcare is underappreciated. Good job.
Thanks. Yeah, all of the Acoma stuff is really short, 600 characters. Really
Yeah.
hard to everything. So I tried my best. I might have to rework actually all of them, but
Yeah. Patience. Yeah. I've become aware. Good. You're keeping the emphasis on what you're learning, which is good. The establishment of the Healthy Schools Initiative. This one is another one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Design a new pilot program focused on student to increase physical activity and water consumption. Oh, good job. I liked your learning at the end, and I'm glad you put in your 10 grand grant. That's good. Yeah, that's a big deal.
I
And you
know
did
you.
it in a very humble way. Pilot program. Oh, this is your smaller one.
Yeah. And I'm over by one character.
I learned that one. Hmm. You're over
Not
one
as
character. I'm like, where can I cut out a character?
I said the same thing. I'm actually considering just removing the last period and the last sentence in the actual application.
Yeah, or even you could maybe even get rid of this comma.
Okay.
Yeah, you could probably get rid of that comma if you want.
Okay.
It's so sad what you guys have to do. And then this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the last one.
Okay. How to approach each patient with dignity and compassion. I enjoyed these small tastings of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So this is good. You talked about what you were able to do, which is
Mm-hmm.
really cool. So you didn't just scribe, but you were also a leader, and you got to do some small procedures. And it sparked your curiosity. I don't know if you really told me completely what you learned or how you impacted
Okay.
healthcare. Yeah, up until here. Like sparking your curiosity, that's great, but I think everyone assumes that you have a curiosity in medicine because you are applying to medical school.
Okay.
So, what did you learn when you were a scribe? I mean, over here, countless scientific discoveries have increased the quality and longevity of our lives. How did you learn that? Like, why is that a factual sentence?
That's like a hard question to answer because I feel like I have a lot to say and we have such a short word count. Like
Well,
I saw
just start spitting it out, and I can help you through that.
Okay. So for example, I mean, you see patients walk in with pacemakers. Like, can you imagine a world without pacemakers or oxygen tanks to help deal with COPD, or even just to utilize fast exams right at the bedside to see if there's internal bleeding? Like, there are these just small but cumulative things that to me is just absolutely amazing. Like, it's crazy to me to think that we can do this and what we can do in the next 10 or 5 or even 20 years. So that's kind of what I was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
But the stupid word count, man.
So basically it sounds like the theme of this, I'm just going to start writing some stuff here. Theme is technology is awesome.
Yeah.
So when you, in this example where you said without a pulse or respiratory failure, you witnessed attendings jump into action, they perform CPR or placed a breathing tube, or you could say utilized, maybe over here you can say, or utilized new, well, it's not new, utilize, let's say, ultrasound technology to, I don't know, quickly assess
The patient's
trauma.
condition.
Yeah, or trauma bleeding or, whatever. So And then you can maybe emphasize or talk about how you learned that technology, how rapidly technology is evolving in medicine and helping people, and that's really excited you. I like this, like, sparked my curiosity. I liked how you said fascinated, scientific discoveries, increasing quality and longevity of our lives, but I don't think you fully closed off
Okay.
your learning loop there.
Okay.
Yeah. But good job.
Well,
Yeah. So then you will turn this sentence into a tech theme, and then you can carry that through.
okay. Got it.
Cool. And then that's it for most meaningfuls. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just the clinical care extender, because I had changed it.
This one.
Changed the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was my first medical I signed up to get a sense of the clinical. Decide where I fit and how I could serve. I mainly assisted nurses and patient. Blood, sweat, and teamwork involved. Okay, I like that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool.
Yeah, the blood loss for vaginal birth deliveries is half a liter, 500 mLs.
It's crazy. When you're watching it, you're just completely amazed. But then on my drive home, like I had like these phantom faints in my stomach. I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm not the one giving birth.
It is so much blood. It was my first rotation as a med student, and yeah, I was covered in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I got blood in my hair that day.
Yeah, not uncommon.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
Cool.
Thanks.
By the way, if after I get through your stuff, if you need to go, then don't feel you need to hang around. But I'm hoping you guys get a lot from me, from seeing what everyone else is doing and me talking through it. So
One last question.
Yeah.
Did you still want us to send a list of our med schools to you?
Yeah, if you need help with it, or if you're confident in your list, then that's fine too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And I'm just kidding. One more question. Overall, reading my statement in ECs, did you get a broad picture of who I want to be and why it's important? You know what I mean? Like, was it cohesive or was it kind of like interrupted in some way?
No, I think your personal statement is great.
Cool.
It's
great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I gave a lot of why, which is what the purpose of your personal statement is. And it's interesting enough too, with some of your experiences kind of sprinkled in here, that I think a committee member would want to invite you for an interview to ask you more questions about these experiences.
Okay. Cool.
Because you described it in a really interesting way, but you didn't give away the whole story, because there's like a lot of other stuff that went on. And so you're teasing them a little bit, which is good.
Okay, great.
And then they'll want to talk to you more in an interview.
Okay, great. That's the goal.
Yeah, exactly. That is the goal.
15%, 40%.
Yeah, your chances jump up to, I think the one of the papers I read was 43%. But I think the schools range between 40 to 50%.
Okay.
It's like
great.
flipping a coin almost at that point. Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. We have Liz and Jerlyn who wanted stuff. Yeah.
Hi, Dr. Ken.
Hi, Erica.
Hi. So I joined the meeting late, but I share with you my ECs. If you could look at least the first four, because I redid them because I was the one who was making a mistake on not listing why it wasn't important or how it impacted me.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look. So why don't I go? I think Liz sent in her stuff first.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna exit this guy. And Liz, what are we going through?
If we can go over my personal statement and then quickly my 15 ECs, but first my personal statement. It's completely different from last time.
Is it this one? Oh no, SM. Where is it?
I resent it to you. Do you want me to send it again?
Let me see. Yeah, why don't you send it to me again?
Okay.
Where is this stuff? And then Erica, just updating you, there was a, oh, here's Erica's. And then for my program for next month, I'm giving you guys free access. So I put it in the Facebook group. So you guys will get that for free. And it's basically the same stuff that we've gone through. It's just a little bit more organized. I on this new platform called Teachable. So I created the whole course on there. Okay, let me look at Jerlyn's stuff too. Jerlyn, are we going over just your ECs?
Briefly, like my personal statement.
That's what you want, is your personal statement?
Yeah, and then just it's supposed to be under my name.
Oh yeah, I found it.
Yeah, and then just for one of my ECs, because that's the one that I'm like, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Khan, did you receive an email or should I send it?
Yeah, Liz, why don't you send it? Because I can't find it. Erica, I got your ECs.
I just sent it.
Okay.
It's LA personal statement rough draft.
Are you sending it to?
I'm sending it to the female doc.
At gmail.com, right?
.com, not a Gmail. Is there a different email?
No, the female doc at gmail.com. That's the one. Maybe it's not showing up because you already shared it with me.
I'm sending it again to the Gmail. I think I was sending it to the femaledoc.com.
Oh yeah, send it to the Gmail.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you see it now?
I'm refreshing. No, I still don't see it. So
it's just the female doc at Gmail, right?
The female doc at gmail.com, yes. Why don't I get started? I have Jerlyn's personal statement up. So while you're emailing that, I'll just start doing this.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go, Jerlyn.
For my personal statement, the only question that I have where I'm a bit struggling because of my word count is like I've been told that I need to add a leadership, like some sort of leadership role that I've had, but I don't know where to put it. I'm over my word count, basically.
Okay. That sounds more like an extracurricular thing though, right? Because your personal statement is meant to emphasize why you want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. On a summer morning, I sat down on a stool for 4 hours wearing It was in an air-conditioned procedure room loser. One of multiple causes that day. As the procedure commenced, Anderson drew my attention to 3 screens in front of him as he pointed out the intricate path he was transversed. Everyone moved like a well-practiced orchestra with just one word from a biopsy. The work of everyone in. See the notes. I like the way that you describe this, but it's very focused on this dude, Dr. Jaffin, and not you so much. So I'm going to keep reading and then maybe we can come back around. You just going to. I meant to take it down. Each emergency prompted a debate. So this paragraph is very nicely described, and it makes me understand emotionally what you went through, but it didn't answer why you want to be a doctor. So I'm going to just keep reading. Until she goes. Oh, this is a cool paragraph. I really like this paragraph because it demonstrates a lot of your research intelligence on the work that you've done. And the language you use here to describe your research is very technical, which also demonstrates how much you've put into the research, and it shows a deep understanding of what's going on, and then you also tie it back to your why. So this is good. Your goal was to fully understand. As a doctor, I will use my curiosity to do what it takes. So this is good. But yeah, this one was lacking your why. I had to reconsider my goals. Oh. This is good. I thought your original personal statement, you talked about your brother and you talked about this in your first paragraph. So this is a new paragraph you made, correct? Here, I'm going to unmute you so we can have a conversation. There you go.
Yeah, I started out with like the whole asthma attack of my little brother.
Yeah.
But I received feedback that it was like to like change it around a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah. Like every time I try to start with that why, I always get the same feedback that it's like, no, like change it up.
Okay.
Because the reason why I mentioned him is because with him, I got my first like opportunity to actually shadow a doctor
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
actually see like, okay, I want this still.
Right. So, I mean, you do talk about reaffirmed my own goal to seek the knowledge necessary to take care of another human life. Yeah. I mean, it's a good seed. I like this paragraph. This paragraph you need to come back
Okay.
around to your why.
Mm-hmm.
I also really like this paragraph. And it's, you kind of teased us a little bit that you were reconsidering it, but then you close it back around with it heightened your desire.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Okay. I saw your links, Liz, in the chat, so I'll click on those in a little bit. Prime as a pharmacy experience another career in medicine interaction. Brief and detached or something. I will be reaching out to community. That's all. This is great. I love it. Good conclusion. There was just that one paragraph that, like this one,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
didn't tell me much. This is also really impactful. And I almost think this would be a good intro paragraph as well.
Okay.
Because you could easily cut and paste this and put this as your intro paragraph. And then and this could be moved into here somewhere. Because this is very technical as well. This one's emotionally jarring. But
Okay.
either way, the whole thing works. All of the paragraphs work. Good job.
Thank you. It's on the JGEC. I didn't put it on the same.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just for the National Cancer Institute one.
This one that you highlighted?
Yeah, I'm struggling.
After my undergrad, I enrolled in postbaccalaureate fellowship. I learned. Hours of. I think this is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. And then like when it expands to like why is it meaningful?
Uh-huh.
That if you scroll down.
Yeah, you learned about a lot of technical stuff.
Yeah. Like I try to say why was it significant to me.
Yeah.
And yeah.
This is beautifully written. Yeah, meaningful collaborations. Is this in the character count?
Yeah, I have to shorten it a lot. So
yeah, this is really good description of what you learned as well.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just try to shorten it.
Good job. Yeah, just try to shorten that a little bit. But yeah, this is very technical and it shows that you learned all this stuff, but you brought it back around to why you're not going to be a researcher and why you're going to be a physician instead, because you said that it helped shape your resilience and perseverance.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so good
Thank
job.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Wow, we're just flying through now. You guys are just experts at this. Okay, let me see if I can pull up this document. Liz, this is it, right? Okay, I'm going to unmute you. Didn't I sent you some edits on this one, didn't I?
No, on my 15 activities. This is completely
Oh.
new. I just rewrote it.
Okay, cool. I wrote this in. It is Violet. Little grammar mistake here. Hold on. Let me get my tool. It's vital that individuals with medical backgrounds actively engage in health policy and decision making. Pursuing a career in medicine will provide me to advocate for underserved patients and lead efforts in implementing a culturally linguistically sensitive healthcare system. Turning your house up. This is great. This is really good because I like how I love this phrase. I longed to make a difference. And the way that you described, the zip code and all this stuff, I felt the itching as well.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I also love that you threw Senator Harris's name right up front, because it also already demonstrates that you've done some really important work. So it's good to have that just right up front.
Do you like the beginning sentence?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's not too like, I don't know, I just didn't know how to start, so I just started.
If you don't love it, then we can brainstorm a little bit now and think of something else. So I was fed up and needed my voice to be heard. Tell me a little bit more about what led to that frustration. Like if me and you are at dinner, what would you tell me? Like, oh, why'd you get involved in Senator Harris's office? Here with my cup of coffee.
Actually, it was just it wasn't more like out of frustration. It was just once that I was there, I realized that no one there in that office had my background and my experience. Mm-hmm. Everyone else came from Ivy Leagues, Rhodes Scholars, and so I was the only one who came from a zip code that I came from. I wasn't a legacy baby.
Right.
But I just didn't know how to put that, and I just
I don't think we should talk about that.
So I just didn't know how to express that, but
that's a tricky line, because I know what you're saying is like all these privileged Ivy League kids with nice upbringings and everything. It's
they didn't grow up in South LA.
Yeah. So how do we tease this out? When you when other people realized you were from South LA, how did they react to you in DC?
It was more of a culture shock in grad school, to be honest, than in the office, because as I went to GW, so they knew GW, so they just associated GW with where I went. But it was more of a culture shock in graduate school because, you know, my parents' highest educational attainment was high school, and then I was in classes with kids whose dads were either diplomats or doctors, and so that was just really weird. But more of like being in the senator's space it's more of like, if I wasn't going to advocate for these people, then who was? Because no one else knew them.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe if we go through it more.
I like what you just said. Say it again.
Like
if I wasn't going to
advocate for marginalized population, then no one else would have.
Yeah, but the way you said it the first time was more casual, and it sounded more like a conversation.
Okay.
Well, this is being recorded anyway, so.
Okay, so I'll just listen back to it. Okay, that's great.
Go back to the recording. That might be a nice sentence instead of "I was fed up and needed my voice to be heard." Just say like, if I wasn't going to do it, no one was.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. I think that. What do Sarah and Jerlyn think? And Erica?
So it's like an hour 30 is when you should go back and watch what she said. It was really good. Like, it was super casual, and you know, it perked my ears, especially in public health. I was like, oh, I liked it. Good job.
Okay, I'll go back and listen to it.
Yeah, it perked my ears as well. That's a good way of saying it, Sarah. Okay. So the rest of that paragraph is great because you layered in a lot of the different things that you've done, but that you longed. I love this word, longed, to make a difference. Okay. That I can help provide care to those in need, regardless of what their zip code might be. Yes, I love this. Ganas. I don't know if I'm saying it like a white girl, but
no, you're good.
Ganas? Am I saying it? Okay.
Yeah, you are.
All right. Growing up. Great. Burning passion. Yes. Instilled within me. Good. So I know why you're here, why you want to go to medical school.
Okay.
To recognize the impact. Describe. Namers. Yeah.
I wanted to know, do I name the hospital or does it matter?
Yeah, you can name the hospital. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but you don't have to if you don't have the character count.
Okay, I don't.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if I had to.
Yeah. No, you don't. Because every emergency department is essentially the same, unless, and I think you've already, unless you want to emphasize that it was a underserved area, but with the example of her never receiving reproductive health education, I think we kind of make that assumption, and that you've kind of layered that in as well with like your mom and stuff like that. So, my role, she expressed. Okay, this sentence is weird.
In my role?
No. Do you even need this?
I don't know.
I don't think you do.
Okay.
Yeah, she expressed her fears to me and I listened intently, validating her concerns. the expertise to care for in the way she did Maria. Thank you, Joseph. Saying this, she was very poor and recently immigrated. This is the first time she had seen it. I said, maximize my knowledge in order to Good. Yeah, what's interesting is you talk about Dr.
Durbany?
Yeah. And he or she almost like swooped in and like took your I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like your golden nugget, like you were gonna help her, and then the actual doctor came in and offered it. But it emphasizes that because you have that passion, you also have a lack of knowledge, which is why you're applying to medical school. So it's like, let me in so I can then turn around and do this for people. So it's good. It's jarring actually to read how you're starting to help her, and you almost think that you're going to talk about how you were the hero, but then it turns out you weren't, because the doctor.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good how you layered that in, because then it'll emphasize and appease to the admission committee members that, you know, you need them to let you in so that you can do more. So that's good.
Sorry, can I just chip?
Yeah, please.
That last sentence to like cut it where it says in order to, why not start with I desire to maximize my knowledge of the human body to do more for patients during their most vulnerable times. So instead of I recognize that, I start with I desire to maximize my knowledge.
Thank you. I need words.
And then take off that in order and just jump to do more for patients. Leave the two. Sorry. To do more.
I desire to maximize my knowledge of the human body to
do more for patients like Maria. Because isn't it like understood that the patients, like, they're individuals? So just say patient.
Okay.
Yeah. Do more for patients like Maria. Yeah, all of this is decoration, right? So you don't have to add during their most vulnerable times if you don't want to. You could just end it at like Maria. So depending on your character count, you can cut things like that.
Okay.
Or you can say like vulnerable, or do more for vulnerable patients like Maria. And then if it depends on what you want to emphasize, the style you want to bring. So this is a good point that Jerlyn brings up is how do you want to stylize this? Because yes, this is much cleaner language to get rid of this part and this part. But if you really want to emphasize that vulnerability, then you can put it in here to like vulnerable. Oh, that's not where I wanted it. Patients like Maria. So that'll give you another option later if you like that one.
Okay.
But again, this is stylistic, so it doesn't matter. But I guess it matters for your character counts.
It does. It's so short.
Okay. Having a vested, I begin with. What's my goal then? Abuse. I spent many hours in. Daisy, who's around. You really want to call her Daisy?
I
That's her
read
fake
like
name?
fake names.
But what was her ethnicity?
She was Hispanic.
I mean, can we pick a Hispanic name to emphasize her background?
Sure. I just didn't want to be like Maria and like another typical name, but okay. I'll come up with like my cousin's name or something.
Yeah, like something really Hispanic.
Okay.
Because Maria is also, it's not, maybe even pick a different name than Maria.
Okay.
Like what's
I'll
a
work on my
very,
face.
very, very Hispanic name?
Okay. Let me think about it.
I don't know. Lolita comes to mind, but I don't know if that's like I don't think that's I think I met a Lolita once. Or, yeah, some Hispanic name, because then it also kind of gives a sense of the population that you're working with.
Okay.
Daisy, it's like, I'm going to Disneyland. I don't know what's going on. I don't like Daisy. Okay. Since it is Maryland for female Spanish-speaking residents involved. One of her greatest fears of leaving her relationship was that there would be outside his family. It's created this common belief among Martin. Each person I meet like Daisy. I like this sentence, but I want more.
More of like.
Yeah, and I don't know if you need this sentence.
Okay.
Because this isn't extracurricular, so you don't have to talk completely about what you did, what your roles were. You want to talk more about why you want to be a doctor. So taking out characters in this sentence and then adding more, like, so you want to empower the patients in dire need. But what else? What else about freaking Daisy? What else about Daisy? Like, what did you, after this experience, what why was really emphasized to you?
So it was just, I mean, first of all, like LA County is not the most warmest of hospitals, and after you've been sexually assaulted, like when you go through to get the sexual assault exam, the nurses aren't the nicest either.
No, they're not. I hate county. I don't like them. They're rough around the edges.
You know, they're a little rough, and so if you've just been raped, like, you need someone who's going to be in your corner and who's going to be, you know, giving you resources and also just validating who you are as a person, but also letting you know that it wasn't her. What really struck out to me is that it wasn't her fault, and she felt so guilty.
Right.
And so there was that, but also the fact that she felt like she couldn't leave him because, like, his family is the only family that she knew.
Yeah.
And just, like, letting her know of, like, you know, no, like, you don't have to just put up with this.
Yeah.
Here, like, there's these resources, and just, like, explaining to her, like, the next steps after, you know, yes, the physical examination was important for like, the case, but also just, like, where she could go afterwards to get this help and where she would be supported, so she didn't have to go back to him. And it was just like, she was around, I did this in undergrad, and she was around my age, and that's kind of what, I think I was 20.
Why did that make you want to be a doctor? My battery's gonna die, so I gotta go upstairs and plug in.
I just wanted to be kind of the contrast of what I saw the nurses in there. Like, it's not just about collecting specimens, but giving that warm and fuzzy, like, recognizing the humanity in the patients, that it's not just about collecting data, it's more about healing the person.
I understand what you're saying, but those are the whys that I don't like, because then it makes it kind of sound like oh, I'm going to save the healthcare system and there's so much wrong with the healthcare system, which there is, and you're completely accurate, but it's just not something you want to write about.
Yeah, I just didn't know how to write that, so I just came up with like, I want to empower the patient.
I'm craving just one more sentence on your passion or your why. Jerlyn,
Okay.
Sarah, Erica, anyone? Any thoughts? Do you guys feel like this sentence is fine? All right, I think they're just deeply pondering. Okay, we'll come back around to this one.
Okay.
To an ascribed status beyond learning. Cease does not remain. It's at an amplified risk, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is the end of your, and this is like a bonus paragraph, or what is this?
No, I had something at the end, and I think I'm gonna just take it out for the most meaningful. But that's
okay.
like if you read it without
this is a good conclusion right here. Just ending it right here. What about this sentence?
For up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that work here? I like it here.
Okay.
Yeah. I see Jerlyn nodding. Sarah nodding.
Yeah, like it gives a punch.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I wanted that punch.
Okay. So do I cut out? Let's cut the bill stuff, and then do I add the end like as a?
No, right here is fine where it ended.
It's a good ending.
Oh,
Sorry.
Jerlyn doesn't like the ending?
No. The part, because I see that you're like kind of invested on the bill part. I think they could search it up and find out what it is if they're truly.
No. I mean, I was gonna put that in my most meaningful, but I meant like there's a sentence after that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, as you're ending. Oh, as a future physician, I hope to continue to advocate. Give voice to I like it. Yeah, it's good. It's all good.
Okay, I'll just change my names.
To save character, can she take off the like Maria and Daisy part?
She could, but I actually like that she came back and reminded us at the end, like, hey, remember these two women? Yeah, I like the feeling of that.
Does it tell you why I want to go into medicine?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
But this sentence is one that you can get rid of.
Okay.
Because you already showed me that you have cultural competency, leadership skills, and resilience. So this is a sentence you could actually get rid of.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Good job.
Thanks.
All right. And lastly, Erica, right?
Yes.
Okay. Again, if you guys need to leave or anything, feel free to bounce on out. Okay. Erica, so we're going through the first 3 or something? What did you say?
First 4, yeah.
First 4. Okay.
Because I redid them because I was doing them wrong previously.
Okay. Call University Physician, Brooklyn. Sorry, as a volunteer, my senior year. Let's grew. Filing system, organization. Personal struggles. Physicians' experience in their careers. Pretty sure that was in. Oh, this is interesting. This is an interesting learning experience because there's not a lot of people who get like this inside look into doctors' salaries and payrolls and
Yeah.
it's I like it. But I think this is not one of your most meaningful ones.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Do you need to cut, because like you can cut out a lot of these characters if you need to.
Yeah, that's what I need help with.
Okay. Yeah, so I started as a volunteer in my senior year of high school, and then by providing clerical support, and then you can say the payroll administrator hired me as a seasonal intern, and my responsibilities grew. So, oh shoot, I'm not tracking changes. Hold on. Yeah, so you can get rid of that part. I started as a volunteer in, and you can even say high school.
Okay.
By providing clerical support. But soon, and then you can even just go straight into, but soon my responsibilities
Okay.
grew to, then what was your position when you were creating these files?
I was an intern.
Grew to.
Through college.
Okay.
Then after college, I became a payroll administrator. Okay.
Okay, you can say grew to college, or I don't know how you want to word this, but basically grew and however, grammatically I'm messing this up. You get the gist of what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I do, Dr. Ken.
Once a college graduate, I became a payroll administrator assistant, to inputting and reconciling employees' deductions. You don't have to tell me this.
Okay.
I gained insight into the personal struggles physicians experience in their careers. By assisting with payroll duties, maybe you can even, because this is interesting, so maybe you can say, interestingly, by assisting with payroll duties, I gained insight into, renew his work visa deadline. He appreciated. Made me realize that physicians. I need something more impactful, though. That they're not just humans, but like, what else did you learn?
For Because for me, I always saw doctors like they knew everything, like they have it like everything sorted out when they approaching a patient, they have all the answers. So for me, it's like, oh no, they also need help. They're also, I don't know how another way to say they were
yeah,
humans.
yeah. Hmm. I don't know. Berlin, Sarah, any ideas?
I think I understand what you're trying to say, Erica. Um, but I don't want to because I feel like culturally too, like we tend to place physicians at this high level, right? And
Yes.
so it's almost like this weird idolizing, like we do everything they say and there's no pushback. But your experience tells me that you see people equally, and that we shouldn't idolize or think too highly of people and really appreciate whatever circumstances they come from.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I get what you're saying. I'm just not wording it correctly, I think. And I
Yeah,
think that's what you're
it's hard,
struggling
it's hard to
with.
word
That's
this
what I was
one.
struggling with. Yeah.
I gained insight into, well, maybe not, let's not talk about the physician straight away. Maybe I gained insight into the personal struggles people, just say people experience in their careers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can give the example of the physician who urgently needed documents to renew his work visa, and he was nervous about not meeting the deadline. Seeing how overwhelmed I offered to assist him. And actually, you could get rid of this.
Okay.
Help him in short notice. Seeing how grateful he was for a small. How about this? A small administrative task made me realize that maybe something like people are always in need of help.
Okay.
Always in need of help, and like everyone is a part of a team. I don't know, something like that.
All right.
For that, the ending, like, why not say, how did it make you feel to help him?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you can also talk about that.
yeah, that could be the wrap of that paragraph, like saying, no, like I loved help, like just extending a help, like something around.
Yeah, or you could, or yeah, so we'll do another here, little thing here, or so made me feel
Okay.
how did it make you feel?
Surprise, because I'm like, it's something so small. I didn't think it was gonna have a huge impact on him. So I was mostly surprised.
Made me feel.
So what about like on a larger scale when you're helping people, like like expand it to like your position when you become a patient in the future, like how would that make you feel helping people?
Um,
Because I'm like, I usually focus in like start small and then see it big
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end.
Okay.
So you were surprised that you made such an impact, but on the bigger scale, helping people makes you feel
Appreciative to be in that place, I guess.
okay. So you feel humbled.
Yes. Mostly humble. Yes, that's true, because he was a doctor.
Maybe humbled. Humbled. And what else? Humbled to help people. I don't know. We'll word it a little bit differently too.
Okay.
Something like that. Something will keep thinking about this, and I think eventually something will pop up.
All right, Dr. Ken.
Financial assistant. To the finest. Oh, look at you, fancy. I like it. My duties include. So we have, okay, I think we switched tense again. I work. Oh, no, you currently work there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, so this is correct. My duties include, but I think this would be mentoring. Include, monitoring and reconciling lockbox. Processing, transfer, insurance. Okay, this is really boring. We gotta switch it up because doctors' eyes are gonna glaze over when they're reading this. Understand. So I don't, because honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about. My duty. So you monitor lockbox deposits for clinical departments and process transfer of insurance payments. Okay, so you're working in, essentially you're helping with billing, and you're acting like the middleman for to help like the departments talk to the insurance companies. Is that correct?
Kind of, yes.
But like on a more fancy scale.
Yes.
Okay. I don't word it like this because no one's going to know what you're doing.
Okay.
Because remember, the admissions committee members are all going to be doctors.
All right.
So use doctory language if you can. Like, my duties include how about processing insurance payments.
Okay.
Processing insurance payments, and then maybe like more layman term. Like, how would you describe it to me over coffee?
My role is to find insurance payments that went to the wrong department and to transfer them to the correct department. So that department will have the resources to pay the doctors.
I came to understand the complexity. Okay, by complexity of the healthcare system. There are many insurers, and each one has a different payment plan. At times, I've seen insurance companies denying payment. Yeah, they deny payment a lot. Companies denying payments or sending it to the incorrect place, affecting departments' workflow. Yeah, this is important stuff. How were you able to impact these departments and in this role?
Well, since I'm the one who's searching the payments in other departments, I feel like I was able to impact because they were able to pay the doctors on time.
So they had more funding. Do you have
numbers? Yeah, but I don't know if I could share because I don't know if I'm allowed to share.
Well, someone in your position.
Okay.
typically, let's say at at different universities or whatever, on average, how much do people in your role save departments?
Oh,
Right? Because if you didn't figure out that incorrect payment, they would lose that money.
that's true.
Right? So how much maybe per month or per year do you think that and you don't have to say you specifically, you can say people in my role, or if you don't want to talk about details.
Okay.
So, like, because I have no idea. Would it be like 10 grand, 50
Yeah,
grand?
per 10 grand per day.
Per day?
Yeah.
Dang, girl. I was not expecting that number.
That's why I don't want to share, because it's like, why? That's a problem, Why is that so much money?
But I mean, it is a problem. Billing in this country is a hot mess.
It is. It really is. It's ridiculous.
A hot, ridiculous mess.
It is.
So, but I think I think it's important to really show the impact of your role, because otherwise it's like, okay, they might even think like, okay, well, you did billing. Like, who cares?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you did much more than that because you were a financial analyst.
Mm-hmm.
That's your current title, right?
Yes.
I hope you're getting paid well and you're asking for raises regularly if you're saving 10 grand a day.
I'm trying, but they're cheap.
Okay, I was relocated from my duties included processing insurance payments.
Can I chip in?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. So like compressing those two, what I'm thinking is saying, while processing insurance payments, I came to understand the complexity of the healthcare system.
Wow. Hold on. Insurance payments. Yeah, actually, you don't even need this. Came to setting it leading to large I was gonna say leading to large deficits of funds. And then maybe something like sometimes up to 10K daily.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yay.
10K daily, that's freaking nuts. I believe it though, because it's like money goes everywhere, and yeah. Okay. I started volunteering at a clinic in the Bronx called Family. It's a weekly weight loss group. Oh, this is nice. Included planning the meetings.
Okay.
And collecting data on the patient's participation, interaction with patients, making aware. It's more than provide support for pre-host. This is really good. It flowed well, and it also showed how you grew in the role and how you started this new volunteer work. By participating in healthcare versus presenting social reform. But I don't like this last sentence. It's like, I'm glad that I was able to found a program to because you already showed that you did all this.
Okay.
Right? You already showed that you created this program. You already showed that you are helping minorities in medicine and serving. So we can just get rid of it, actually.
All right.
Damn, in the Bronx. I used to work in my fellowship, I used to go out to the Bronx VA. That was very special. Okay, we are New York. Family has serves a predominantly immigrant. Social determinants of health. The center partnered with the mayor's office to bring a free of charge English class. Started volunteering as a patients to help patients learn, how to read, write, and speak English after the end of the came 2 years. What does this mean, point person?
Like the person in charge of running the program, because before we're just an assistant.
So what's your title? Manager?
Point person. That's why I wrote it down like that.
I need another name. I'm just going to put this in brackets. Think about it. Point person, manager, coordinator, creator, leader.
Okay.
Right?
Liaison.
Leader. What?
Yeah.
Liaison, but I'm not sure if you are a liaison.
Is that like a person in charge or like
liaison? Oh, I don't know how to spell it. How do you spell it? Liaison? Not lesion. How do you spell it?
L-I.
Liaison.
I'm not sure.
None of this looks right. Oh, here it is. Okay. Don't learn from me, guys. Be better spellers than me. Okay. So think of something else than point person. Point person sounds silly.
Okay.
Because you obviously you have a very important role, leadership role. Or you can even just say, I had a large leadership role, if you can't figure out how to describe it. Besides making and teaching lesson plans, I had to delegate roles to 5 classes. Understand common medical conditions in their community. Oh, see, you said team leader here.
Oh.
You wanted to say team leader up here?
All right.
And then you don't actually have to mention it here. Observe the strengths of my team members on that side. Feel more confident in their role. In them attending college or sustaining a job. Ultimately, the ability to speak English. Interesting. I like this, but I kind of want to reword it a little bit. What if you said something like the strengths of my team members or something like it's inspiring to, or it felt good to be able to help other people grow their strengths in the roles you assign them to, or something like that, because it sounds like you are putting people in particular roles because you know that they have strengths in that area and that they can grow in that particular position. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how to word that. I don't like how you're wording it now. I observe the strengths of my team members. This is nice. Actually, if you want to just talk about the patients, emphasize the patients, is this going to be one of your most meaningfuls?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Do you have an example?
Of my team member or patients?
I would probably more likely, it'd be more meaningful to talk more about a patient.
Okay. I do have an example of where the patient came.
Well, sorry, hold on. You only get 3 most meaningfuls, right?
Yeah, so far I only have 2.
Oh yeah, so Bronx, this one was good, and then this one. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, so tell me about a patient who grew more confident in their
Well, she
skills.
started not knowing how to ask for coffee, and then towards the end of the program, she was able to start community college. So she used our program as a stepping stone.
That's huge.
Yeah, that was amazing when she told me, "Oh, I can't come no more." I'm like, "Why? You're doing so great. You improved a lot throughout the 2 years." She's like, "Well, I've enrolled for community college." I was like, "Wow, of course, you know."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to talk about her.
Okay.
And then anything to do with the asthma and diabetes?
Asthma and diabetes? Like a patient related to asthma and diabetes?
Yeah, because you said you were helping them understand common medical conditions, including asthma and diabetes.
Well, I know there was another patient who came to the English class and she learned like what kind of questions to ask the doctors to.
Yeah, that's a common thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't know what to ask the doctors for their child, how to treat the diabetes, how long it's gonna last, things like that.
So tell me about this. Tell me a story about her.
Well, pretty much she came in just to learn English, and then when she saw that I was like doing I was started to do like eating nutrition lessons in English, and then she's like, "Oh, can you do one for diabetes?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I mean, asthma. It was diabetes, and I did one for asthma because she saw that I was going through the healthcare field instead of just teaching grammar. So after that, she told me why she wanted a lesson diabetes because she was struggling on how to ask the doctor. And I guess her doctor didn't know how to speak English Spanish. So, but like certain questions, she was able to ask the doctor.
Okay. And so she finally became confident to be able to ask the doctor.
Yes.
And then?
Well, she was telling me that she was grateful for it because she was able to learn more about asthma from her. The doctor was able to answer all her questions.
Yeah. And how did that change her life?
That she was more knowledgeable, that she didn't feel vulnerable anymore,
Okay, good, good, good. I'm slowly teasing it out of you, pulling it out of you.
I'm so sorry.
That's huge. That's huge, Erica. Like these two examples that you gave me are so impactful, and extracurriculars are meant to showcase how you impacted the community and how you impacted people.
Okay.
So, instead of telling me, oh, you saw patients become more confident in their oral communication skills, why don't you just tell me the story about that, and then I'll automatically know that you did that. Does that make sense?
Yes. It's
Yeah.
just, I
So
guess
instead
I
of
don't
telling
get.
me, you show me. Because when you show me, then I'm more likely to know about it. And then I'm going to want to invite you for an interview so I can hear about more patients. Like, oh, well, what else? Like, because as I'm going through, I'll automatically already wanted to know an example about the asthma and diabetes, right? I was craving to hear that.
Okay.
And then you bored me at the end with describing what you did, right? And there's no doubt that you did this, but it's like a boring descriptor.
Okay.
And the sentence is so true. Having the ability to speak English it's a huge determinant. Huge determinant. And yeah. So see if you can, because it's your most meaningful, you get a little bit more, not for the DO schools, but for the MD schools, you get a little bit more leeway in your characters. So see if you can squeeze both of those examples in there.
Okay, Dr. Ken, I will.
Yeah. All right. Good job.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Jerlyn, for jumping in and contributing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jerlyn.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.